Tonight on Newscenter. A sex abuse scandal causes major changes. Congressmen visit a local manufacturing plant. Things change up at the Vulcan Theater. And women's soccer looks to capture their first PSAC championship. Newscenter starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to CUTV Newscenter for the week of November 10th, 2011. I'm Lauren Turosik.
And I'm Andy Hughes. With early registration scheduled to start on November 14th, students are starting to prepare to schedule for the spring semester. CUTV reporter Amber Simcoe has more on the process of scheduling.
Scheduling week is a very busy and stressful week for students, but the Office of Student Retention and Success provides students with the help needed in order to make a productive class schedule. The Scheduling Center, located in room 210 in Noss Hall, along with the Office of Student Retention and Success, quotes, "We are dedicated to providing students with the support, guidance, and resources they need to achieve both their academic and personal goals." First-year seminar, probationary assistance program, academic scheduling, advising for undecided majors, midterm grade reports, and four-year graduation plan are just few of many services provided by the Office of Student Retention and Success. The Scheduling Center asks that all students bring their advisor sheets, general education or knowledge of what general education requirements they may be in need of. Students should have an understanding of what classes they need and the times that they need their classes at. The Scheduling Center is even flexible around your busy schedule. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you are having scheduling problems, feel free to visit the Scheduling Center for help and advice. I'm Amber Simcoe reporting for CUTV News Center.
Two congressmen, Congressman Hoyer and Congressman Kritz, came to the World Kitchen, the parent company to Pyrex factory in Charleroi. They toured the facility and spoke at the town hall meeting to the factory faculty about why it is great to have facilities like this in the area that create jobs.
One of the largest scandals in sports history has arrived at Penn State. On November 5th, former Penn State assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky was arrested for 7 counts of involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, 8 counts of corruption of minors, 8 counts of endangering the welfare of a child, 7 counts of indecent assault, as well as other offenses. He was released on $100,000 bail after reportedly abusing 8 boys over a 15-year period. The drama continued when it was reported that Athletic Director Tim Curley and Senior Vice President for Finance and Business Gary Schultz were charged for not alerting police about complaints against Sandusky. Curley and Schultz both stepped down from their positions shortly after. The university's Board of Trustees fired football head coach Joe Paterno and President Graham Spanner late Wednesday night because of the possibility that they covered up the whole situation. Paterno had been the head coach of the team since 1966 and led the Nittany Lions to 2 national championships. His 409 career wins as a coach is the most ever in Division I football history. After the news broke that Paterno and Spanner were removed, students from the university rioted in the streets and tipped over a news van. Defensive coordinator Tom Bradley has been promoted to be the interim head coach, and Rodney Erickson will serve as the interim school president. The United States Department of Education will further investigate the case in the near future.
Tuesday was Election Day, and there are a few new members on the California Borough Council. John Flip DeFlippo, Ryan Incapera, and Tony Mariscotti were elected by a landslide to council. The newest additions to Borough Council will take their seats in January 2012. In Washington County, Diana Irie and Larry Magi were re-elected as the county commissioners, while the Republican candidate in the district attorney race, Gene Vitone, took the position by 165 votes.
Last night, Cal U students came out to hear the noteworthy speaker, Matt Glowacki. This program gave the audience an inside look on the fear of diversity.
I wanted all the students who attended Diversity According to Family Guy in South Park to truly understand, first of all, that there's a lot more messages in the show than what people normally think. A lot of times people think these shows are really, really offensive, and they're not. They're designed to be thought-provoking, and they use two pretty sophisticated humor techniques, parody and satire, to make people teach, or to teach people ideas from the show. And so what we do is we use the clips initially to make people a little bit interested in the subject matter, but the best part about the program is we do 3 separate diversity topics all in one program. Ableism, which is discrimination towards people with disabilities, lookism, which is discrimination towards people based on the way they look, and racism. And so the best way for teachers to try and get their students to, well, engage in diversity and is to get them out doing more things, having real experiences with people who are truly different than themselves.
He brought up a really great point that, you know, not everybody knows, just because they're in a minority, the problems that other minorities have, and you just have to be smart and get to know people on the inside and love people for who they are.
All right, so Lauren, we've seen some cold weather here lately, not snow like a couple weeks ago, but hopefully it starts to warm up a little bit.
I know it was frigid this morning. It started to warm up when the sun came out this afternoon, but hopefully we get a little more Indian summer in before we get that snow.
Yeah, well, hopefully. All right, we'll find out what to expect for next week when we return with student meteorologist Jim Nieder in your weather report.
Welcome up to the Cal U Weather Center. I'm student meteorologist Jim Nieder for your weather headlines before the break. We have wintry precip in the mix for tonight and Veterans Day tomorrow morning. Nice weekend looks to be in the mix coming up through Saturday and Sunday. And also looks like in the beginning of next week the rain may make a comeback and more chances of precip for the beginning of next week. All this and more of my forecast to come after the break.
Welcome back to CUTV Newscenter. I'm Gloria Stone with your entertainment report. It seems like as soon as Halloween passed, we were attacked with holiday commercials, music, and lights. But let's not forget about the holiday that is often overlooked. CUTV offers some delicious additions to your Thanksgiving table. Joy Levere has the report.
Welcome to the Joy of Cooking Thanksgiving edition. Now, the best holidays, in my opinion, are the holidays where you can eat as much food as you want. Not only food, but good food. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pumpkin roll, which is definitely a favorite of this season. Your first step is to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. I also suggest setting out some butter, which has to be softened for later. In a mixing bowl, blend together your eggs, cinnamon, sugar, and pumpkin. You can set that aside. In another bowl, you can mix your flour and your baking soda. You combine the 2 bowls into one solid mixture. Make sure you mix it well. Your next step will be to grease your jelly roll pan. Now, a jelly roll pan is kind of like a cookie sheet, except it has raised sides. You can pour the mixture right into the bottom after it's greased, and then stick it right into the oven. From this point, you can bake it about 15 minutes. From there, after it's been baked 15 minutes, you can pull it out and make sure it cools until it's cool enough to handle with your hands. From there, take a tea towel, you lay it out onto the counter, and then you flip your pan and roll it with the tea towel. You should do this while it's still hot, or else it might crack. Again, roll it with a tea towel made out of cotton, not out of terry. The next steps are the easy parts. Now all you have to do is make the frosting, which is cream cheese, powdered sugar, butter, and vanilla. Make sure your frosting is blended well. If you're like me and you don't have a food processor, I recommend attacking it with a fork. After you're sure your cake is completely cooled, you can unravel it from the cloth, spread your cream cheese filling on top, and then roll it again with the cream cheese inside. After that, wrap it in wax paper and put it into the refrigerator until it is ready to be served. Thank you for joining me on this week's edition of The Joy of Cooking. Enjoy your Thanksgiving and eat well.
Here is your shopping list for this week. Join me next time for another edition to your Thanksgiving feast. This is Joy Levere for CUTV Newscenter.
This past Monday, Conrad Murray was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter in Michael Jackson's death. However, Murray's medical license may not ultimately be in jeopardy. As of now, Murray's medical license has been suspended until his case is investigated on November 29th in front of the Medical Board of California. Jennifer Simoes, a spokesperson of the Medical Board, said publicly that we don't have to prove he has committed a crime because he was convicted. So now we have to investigate whether his crime was substantially related to the practice of medicine. Even if California takes away the doctor's license, there is nothing prohibiting a physician applying for reinstatement in 3 years. It is unaware what the board will conclude with Murray's case. After being slammed for spanking one of her 8 children, Kate Gosselin made headlines again for her child being underneath her minivan. The reality television mom picked up her children from the bus stop. While she was in the driver's seat waiting, one of her sons went underneath the vehicle. President of KidsAndCars.org, Jeanette Fennell, said she should have gotten out of the car to supervise them, especially when you have that many children. You should never leave children unattended in or around motor vehicles, even if they are all capable of getting themselves into the van and getting buckled up. Children at that age are unpredictable. Looking at the Cal calendar this week, in honor of Veterans Day, California University will be participating in the Remembrance Day National Roll Call. The names of more than 6,000 soldiers killed in Iraq and Afghanistan since the terrorist attacks on September 11th will be read outside of the Natali Student Center as well as other schools starting at 8 a.m. At 2 p.m., Cal will have a moment of silence for those names and other soldiers. The event will last until 4 p.m. Thursday, November 17th, the Pennsylvania Department of Health will have an event on campus giving out information on tobacco, quitting smoking kits, and live examples of healthy and damaged lungs. Student smokers will be asked to sign an I Won't Smoke contract for the following day, November 18th. The event will be at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Cal's campus. The comedy The Change-Up will be coming to the Vulcan Theater this upcoming week. The movie starring Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds is the story of 2 childhood friends who envy the other person's life. The character Dave is an overworked father of 3, while Mitch is a single ladies' man. However, they unexpectedly switch lives. Check out how they resolve being in each other person's shoes. Showtimes are at 4 and 8 and 11 p.m. So, Lauren and Andy, pumpkin rolls are my favorite Thanksgiving dessert. I don't know about you guys, but these look very good.
I am just in love with Joy's segment. I think those look delicious, and I can't wait to try one.
Yeah, it's perfect timing too because you got Thanksgiving coming up, and everyone's thinking about pumpkins, so perfect timing for this.
I would have to agree.
All right, thank you, Gloria. When we return, Will Moore has your sports report. Stay tuned.
With matching 7-2 records, the California Vulcans and Edinburgh Fighting Scots entered this past weekend's contest on the verge of being eliminated from NCAA playoff contention. The Vulcans needed a win against their PSAC West rival in order to keep their rise to the Super Regional rankings. On the go. Let's head up to Adamson Stadium where CUTV had the highlights. Moving from the, Lamont Smith trying to lead the Vulcans to an 8th straight win on the season. 0-0 through the entire first quarter, but we Jeff the Fort Knox on a 5-yard touchdown run to give California the 7-0 lead in the second. 6:36 remains in the second quarter, and Pistol Pete Lawlick hits Thomas Mayo for a 4-yard touchdown. California's quickly up 14-0 in the second. Later on in the second quarter, it would be Cody Harris, and he's going to get marooned on Swearinger Island here. Senior day, you get another look at the interception. And Patrick Swearinger, he is fired up about this one, as it is likely his last game at Adamson Stadium. There's still a chance Cal will host a playoff game. We'll find out how that goes later. Lamont Smith, would break free here, 47 yards to the Edinburgh 18. He'd pick up another 15 yards off of a face mask penalty on this play, and California would be set up for this. Peter Lollick to Super Mario. Mario Washington, 9-yard touchdown, and California is now up 21-0. They're on a roll through the first half. Edinburgh would get on the board before the first half was over, though, as it would be David Bostic receiving this pass from Cody Harris, the younger brother of longtime quarterback Trevor Harris at Edinburgh. 48 yards for him. Rontez Miles makes the touchdown-saving tackle, but it's all for naught as Harris goes straight back the very next play to Nick Marino. Marino's open in the back of the end zone, and it's 21-7. Edinburgh on the board heading into halftime. Cody Nuzzo would put up a field goal, and then California would switch to their red jerseys at halftime, and it would work for them as they come out in those those red jerseys, and hit a 36-yard touchdown pass. Peter Lollick to Thomas Mayo, and California's back on the roll. It's 31-7. Cody Harris, he's not done yet. He's got Marcus Johnson here. 26-yard touchdown pass makes it 31-14, and Edinburgh would make it interesting, but California's defense would hold on. Final score, California 34, Edinburgh 28. California wins their 7th straight, at least share of the PSAC West. Peter Lollick, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Thomas Mulaba takes the all-time Vulcan record for tackles for loss, upsetting Willie Walker in that category as he picked up 3 on that game. Blake Williamson also recorded his very first 100-yard game, 7 catches, 106 yards for the tight end. Now moving from the pro grass to the hardwood of Hamer Gymnasium, the California Vulcans volleyball squad entered the PSAC tournament on Tuesday night looking for a win against their first opponent, the Gannon Golden Knights. Both meetings between the squads previously had gone to 5 games. However, this game would prove to have a result nobody would expect. Let's head down to Hamer Hall for the action from the PSAC Conference Playoffs. Hamer Hall is ready for the PSAC tournament action, and so are the Vulcans as they look to get things going here against Gannon. Early on, it's 2-1 California in the first game, and Gannon makes it look like they're going to hang with the California Vulcans and give them a fight here, as you can see back and forth action through the game. But watch Brandy Harris make this nice save, and California would come back, and then Brandy Harris would get the kill here to put California up 3-1 to start the game. Game 1, game point, and it'd be number 15, Bridget Bielek, getting the kill on this play here as California would roll to their first game win, and they would lead 1-0 after this. And that would send California into game 2, 24-16, California rolling here. And Chelsea Wilson, look at the huge spike from her to give California a big advantage. They're up 2-0 on the Golden Knights, a game they thought they were going to have trouble with. Game 3, Gannon leads 14-13, and Molly Delaney gets the beautiful kill to tie it up 14-all. Game point now, match point actually, 24-20, California in the lead here. And it would be Brandy Fireball Harris serving, and Gannon can't control the shot. California sweeps 3-0 over the 4th-seeded Gannon Golden Knights. Brandy Harris had 13 kills, and California will move on to face Westchester in the semifinal round. The California women's soccer team has opened the new Phillipsburg Soccer Complex in style this season, closing out the regular season without a single loss in regulation and winning a PSAC championship. However, competition is set to stiffen as the Vulcans enter the NCAA playoffs in the hunt for their first ever national championship. Our own Allison Steinheiser is on the CUTV sports set with more on the Vulcans' chase. Allison.
Athletic excellence has long been part of a CalU tradition. This past weekend, the women's soccer team added their first PSAC conference championship to the long list of Vulcan Conference trophies. With the team being ranked 4th in the nation, they earned the right to host the first and second round NCAA Atlantic Regional playoff games. By finishing with an 18-0-2 record, the Vulcans were able to get a bye in the first round of the NCAA playoffs. At home this season, the Vulcans are 13-0, which makes the new Phillipsburg Soccer Complex the perfect place for the Vulcans to start their run for a first national championship. The team is led by seniors Paula Jackson and Kristen Orrit, as well as junior Carly Work. Jackson has been stellar all year for the Vulcans, with a goals against average of just .47. The back line for the Vulcans, led by Kristen Orrit, has also been strong. On the year, Orrit has 7 goals and 15 points in 19 games.
With a strong defense, the Vulcan offense has been able to explode. Junior Carly Work has been the strongest of all, with 19 goals and 44 points in just 18 games. Last game, Work broke the record for most career goals at Cal U.
The Vulcans will take on the winner of the Edinburgh-Westchester game. CUTV will have exclusive coverage of the games from Phillipsburg Soccer Complex. I'm Allison Steinheiser for CUTV News Center.
Thanks, Allison. So guys, you mentioned earlier in the news segment Joe Paterno out as the head coach of Penn State football. A legendary career for the guy, but you really hate to see it end this way.
It is a sad situation. It's been a sad week for Penn State, Will, but I think that we all need to think a little bit more about the victims in this case rather than the football team. What do you say, Andy?
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree, and I don't think this is the way Joe Paterno wanted to go out, but he will certainly, live up, he's always going to be known in Penn State.
Yeah, he'll definitely be missed by the Penn State fans, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. All right, thank you, Will. That will do it for this week's edition of News Center. Don't forget, you can check out CUTV online anytime.
You can visit our official website at sai.calu.edu/CUTV for the latest news and on-demand video. We'll see you next week.